Hey, we welcome you inside the Eagan Civic Arena. It doesn't get much bigger than this. The Eagan Wildcats, the Eastview Lightning, section playoff time. Winner moves on. Loser is turning in their gear tomorrow. Already a very strong rivalry between these two District 196 schools, and Nathan Crine is probably only going to get amped up tonight.
Well, it's absolutely going to get amped up. We've got an enormous crowd here at the Eagan Civic Arena on the West Rink. It's a big student section both for Eastview and Eagan. Lots of parents, lots of grandparents, everybody joining us. That we expect a lot of people to be on the stream tonight watching us from home. If you can't make it to Eagan Civic Arena and you've got two teams here, this is a 4-5 matchup, Mike Cook, in the Section 3 AA section playoffs. And you know, in some sense you would say that it's an even game, a pick'em type game, but at the same time, you know, the Wildcats are at home and they have beat the Eastview Lightning twice this year.
But what do they say? It's tough to beat a team 3 times if you want to use that analogy. But
well, that's what they say in football. Right. I don't know. Is hockey any different?
Let's go with it. No, then Eastview, they come in. It was interesting. We were here on Saturday for Eagan's home finale against Apple Valley Burnsville. We were just talking we thought for sure it was going to be Park against Eagan in a 4-5 matchup. Really, the question is where. And we thought Eastview was going to come in at 6. Well, it turns out Eastview's 5, Park is 6. So Park's playing up at Cretin-Durham Hall, and Eastview's here. And if you look at it, Eastview had a little better in the section record, and they flat out beat Park head-to-head.
Yeah, they beat Park head-to-head, and so for all of the folks watching hockey through the state of Minnesota, you say these non-conference games, what do they really mean? Do they really make a difference on your season, or you know, do they make anything, you know, is it anything other than just a way to fill up your schedule? Well, the answer is absolutely. These battles that are intra-section battles, even if you're not in the same conference, are incredibly important for these teams to be successful. I mean, we talked last week on Saturday about how Park and Eagan, because we expected that matchup here today, perhaps, how those two teams had tied 4-4 in the very first game of the season, and how odd it was that those two teams might be playing again in the playoffs. And instead, the Eastview Lightning, based on strength of their schedule, the fact they beat Park head-to-head, managed to get the 5 seed. And instead of taking on a Cretin-Durham Hall team that is, you know, a very good hockey team and a 3 seed, now they're playing Eagan in a 4 seed. Yep. Well, Eastview Lightning have to think that they've got a good opportunity to win this game. And the Wildcats, for the first time in 6 years, 6 seasons, are hosting a section quarterfinal game, and you know they'll be amped up.
Yeah. Elsewhere in 3AA, you've got Apple Valley Burnsville. They're playing down at Rosemount tonight. That's the 8-1 matchup. Two Rivers and St. Thomas is the 7-2, and then Park and Cretin-Durham Hall, the 6-3 matchup here in 3AA. Winners will play Friday night or late afternoon potentially over at the Bloomington Ice Garden. Winner of this game is in the 5 o'clock slot, most likely against Rosemount, unless Apple Valley can pull off like the upset of all upsets potentially. And then you would the section final this year, University of St. Thomas at their new arena, and that's on Tuesday the 24th. 7 o'clock.
For anybody who hasn't been to that arena, it is a beautiful arena, and what a great experience it'll be for whoever's in that section final to be able to play in that arena. It's the first year that it's open, so you'll be able to etch yourself into a little bit of history, just the way that the Farmington Tigers and the Eagan Wildcats played the first high school game up at TCO Stadium, right? You and I were able to, and lucky enough to be able to cover that. Somebody's going to be able to say we played the first high school section game at University of St. Thomas, and it might be, who knows, it might be one of the teams that we're going to have here on tonight on the ice.
Well, it's interesting. I talked to Coach Kreiser for Eagan earlier in the day, and they were down at Rosemont less than a week ago. They got beat 4-0. But that was a 1-0 game until there were about 7 minutes to go in the third period. Eagan played that game without top goal scorer Ben Williams, who was out with an illness. And they also had a couple of breakaway opportunities early by Andrew Vobel and Brody Kreiser that, you know, if either one of those goes in, who knows what Rosemont's going to start thinking at that point. You know, do you grip your stick a little tighter or what just happens? But, you know, they're confident if they get to play the Rosemont Irish again. And I'm assuming Rosemont beats Apple Valley Burnsville. And then Eastview, you know, they've got Rosemont as well. Always a big rivalry game there as well. So nothing's going to be easy coming out of this side of the bracket.
Yeah, the records are important, and the quality of the players is material, right, between the teams. But given that these are tight rivalries, intra-district high school rivalries, it's very difficult to say that one team's got clearly the better chance to move on. than the other necessarily. Let me correct myself. I'm not saying that if you're a 1 seed, you don't have the best chance to move on. You clearly do. What I'm trying to say is it may not be as simple as 1 versus 4, 1 versus 5, something like that. It may be a lot more competitive than you might assume. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say.
We mentioned Eastview against Rosemont. They played on Valentine's Day. That was a 5-2 win for the Rosemont Irish, with Taylor and Wooten getting the goals for Eastview. And those two teams also met on January 15th. That was a 4-2 Rosemont win over at the Rosemont Arena.
Speaking of Section 3A seedings, we've mentioned the Rosemont Irish a couple of times being the top seed. St. Thomas Academy, the 2 seed.
Yeah.
I think there are a number of people that are are curious as to how that turned out or how that ended up that way. I don't know. I cannot say that I know enough about hockey to be able to say one way or the other, but I think there's a good population of people out there that wonder if maybe those 2 seeds shouldn't have been switched around.
Yeah, that would have been my thought going into it all, that St. Thomas would get the 1, Rosemont 2, but somebody made the point, and I can't remember who was it told me this, but St. Thomas plays a lot of Class A teams versus Rosemont. You're AA teams. You're in the South Suburban Conference. I know Rosemont's also had really a challenging non-conference schedule, much like Eagan has, much like Eastview has as well, because these South Suburban teams aren't afraid to play some of the quote-unquote big boys in AA hockey.
I think that's absolutely, I agree with you, Mike. I think that's absolutely true. What I will say is it seems like, I will say this from my perspective, from a neutral perspective, neither a Rosemont Irish fan or a St. Thomas Academy Cadet supporter, I'll tell you, a final between those 2 teams would certainly be a lot of fun to watch.
Absolutely. Well, last year you had St. Thomas against Cretin over at Braemar, double overtime, thriller in that one. St. Thomas coming out on top in that one. Of course, St. Thomas, Cretin, private schools, playing in Edina. Insert your own comment here.
Or don't.
Exactly.
Or don't.
2 programs that they've got quality youth programs in each of those associations, right?
Yeah, they have quality youth programs. One of those quality youth programs plays here at Eagan Civic Arena as its home ice. Well, anyway, moving on.
Yeah, the Zambonis cleared it out. We're just waiting for the teams to hit the ice. And, we mentioned it. This place is sold out tonight. It's a USA out for the Eagan student theme. I don't know what the theme is for Eastview. A lot of kids wearing black, and granted they're black and blue for their colors. But this place will be rocking in a way we have not seen it in, would you say, 6 years since Eagan's had a home playoff game?
Yeah, it's going to be loud. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you can't be here, thanks for checking us out on ETV. We think it's going to be really a special evening. And hopefully the Wildcats are going to bring everything to the ice that we've seen them bring all season long. Understanding, as you pointed out, Mike, that this is win or go home.
Yep. Here come the Eastview Lightning, led out by their goaltender, Charlie Scanlon. You can hear the love down to our left, not so much down to our right. And now it gets a little louder on the home side. Austin Schwark leads the Wildcats on to home ice. So who has the advantage tonight? I think the fans. Let's throw it to Jason Hell and see if we can meet the starters for both the Lightning and the Wildcats.
Your officials for tonight's game, and assigned by the Minnesota State High School League, our referees, Tony Aronson and Kyle Bowman, with linesmen Casey Schumacher and Nico Casper. Now let's give the starters to the State Lightning. In goal, the junior, number 32. our national anthem, led by Eagan sophomore Ellie Taylor.
I'm not sure if this is the home of the Wildcats or home of the Lightning. Boy, both student sections just a little bit vocal at the end of our national anthem.
Well, both student sections flexing a little bit. It's early in the game and nobody's scored yet, so we'll see how the two student sections are, say, I don't know, maybe with 5 minutes to go in the third period. But in any event, it's a full house here at Eagan Civic Arena. As we've remarked earlier, this is exciting stuff. We are in the belly of the beast, so to speak, and this is a lot. This is absolutely where you want to be right now on a Tuesday night in Eagan, Minnesota.
I hear the Eagan student section do the "I believe that we will win" chant. Pretty filled up down to our right, down to our left in the Eastview section. I think they're just waiting for their turn to give their chant, but credit to both of these student sections for filling up, helping fill up the Eagan Civic Arena this evening. And understand, nobody tell the fire marshal.
Well, it is officially sold out, is my understanding.
Yep, that's what I've been told.
They have not sold any. If you don't have a ticket or didn't buy a ticket ahead of time, you are not getting in. At least that's my understanding.
So hopefully you're somewhere comfortable watching us. You've got your favorite beverage nearby, your favorite munchies nearby, and we are ready for some section playoff hockey. The Eastview Lightning, the Eagan Wildcats, need we say more? Up top for the Eastview Lightning will be the line of Colby Taylor, Isaac Pavolny, Sam Wooten. Cats got Meagard, Turner, Ben Williams up top. And as I say that, Williams drifted back to the point as Andrew Vobel had pinched in briefly. Here's Carter Eilertson from way out, and that goes deflected wide of Charlie Scanlon. Charlie Scanlon, the man, pretty much Eastview has ridden him a good chunk of this season. Really played all but I believe 3 games. Goals against average .356, .906 the save percentage. And meanwhile, between the pipes for the Wildcats, you've got Austin Schwark, the sophomore, .289 goals against, .902 on his save percentage. Micah Straub backing him up tonight. Face off just outside the Eastview zone. Each team putting pretty much their second trio out. Thomas Lunneberg, Blake Pavic out for the Eagan Wildcats. O'Donnell, Hilly, Shepechnikov for the Eastview Lightning. And here comes Eastview the other way. They do stay on side. Nope, that puck did squirt out. O'Donnell had to tag. Instead, it's going to be Hilly going in. Were they offsides?
Yep, they were offside. Hilly wasn't picking it up. He thought the puck had made it back in as he came over. So offside against the Lightning, and we'll line up and do it again.
I was watching O'Donnell here on the near side. He did a nice job of a skate drag. Speaking of O'Donnell, shot opportunity. Didn't get all of that one as he got past the Eagan defender. O'Donnell wears the C for this Eastview squad through traffic. That goes off the body of Thomas. Pavic, can he poke it out for the Cats? No, Eastview will keep this one in. As we said, early stages of this section playoff game. Eastview going to keep it in the zone. Opportunity, Hansen. That shot was stopped in front on the way through. Nice defensive plays there by the Eagan Wildcats to get in the way of some shots. Here's Ballman pinching in for the Cats. Eastview looking to poke it out, unable to do so. Kreiser with an opportunity. And Eastview's going to be able to break that one out of the zone. A little dump and chase. And we're going to get some fresh skaters on for the Lightning. Garrett Larson with a shot. He had one against Apple Valley here on Saturday. Also had the game winner in that 3-2 win down at Eastview in early December. It was a game when Eastview was up 2-0. Ben Williams got a couple late in the second. I believe it was about a minute apart. And then Garrett Larson with the game winner in the third. That's the kind of game I expect here tonight.
Absolutely. It's going to be tight. I will say the Eastview Lightning have not done a great job of scoring goals in the last, say, quarter of this season. If the Cats can get to 3 goals, I'll tell you right now, my prediction is they're going to win this hockey game.
Yeah, Eastview comes in, they've lost 8 of 9, scored at least 3 goals just twice in that span, one of which was a 7-0 win over Apple Valley, and they would nearly go up 1-0 right there with Titus with a golden opportunity.
Yeah, Titus will be seeing that one in his sleep tonight if the Lightning don't end up winning this game, because he absolutely should be able to put that one on frame. I mean, yes, he's under pressure, no question about that, but he's a quality player.
I believe no icing. Boba couldn't quite touch that one, so skipping around. Here's Nygaard. Actually, this is going to be Max Turner after Nygaard overskated it. And Eastview's going to try to go the other way with Dwyer. Name we've called a lot over the years is Austin Dwyer, number 6 in blue and black. Where's the A along with Shane Klein for this Eastview squad?
And it's incumbent upon both coaching staffs to reinforce with their players the fact that they need to make sure they're being smart with regard to penalties. They cannot take dumb penalties. This game needs to stay 5-on-5, frankly, for both of these teams, I think, given the situation. But they're 16 to 18-year-old young men. Lots of testosterone out there, Mike. I'm going to make a few predictions, and one of those predictions is we're going to have a few penalties in this game.
Well, if we keep it remains a nail-biter, we may not. But last time these teams met, Eagan was penalized 10 times for 28 minutes. Eastview 5 for 10. Eastview 0 for 7 on that power play back here about a month ago when Eagan had 5 different goal scorers in that 5-1 win. 3.5 gone by, we stay scoreless. Hawkinson and Dwyer back for Eastview. Dwyer's going to dump that in. Gives Williams a little shove right in front of the penalty box. Eastview keeps it down low. Tried to get it in front, nobody there that time as Taylor was kind of skating away towards the far circle. Again, Eastview able to keep it in. Wooten. Oh, the opportunity in front, Taylor. Oh, Taylor was a left-handed shot. I think we're looking at 1-0 Eastview.
Vogel absolutely saving the Wildcats bacon. Cats need an icing.
And they get it.
And they get it there, but Cats in that sequence, a couple of times Mike had a chance to get a clearance, had the puck on their stick, and for whatever reason, it did not come out of the zone. And the Eastview Lightning are good enough, they're good enough that if you keep giving it to them at the point, eventually they're going to create scoring opportunities. And that's exactly what the Lightning did.
5-2 shots in favor of the Lightning against a 5-4 section matchup, and it's 1-0 Eastview. Hilly off the face-off.
An absolute rocket to the top corner. I'm not sure Schwark, I couldn't tell if he got screened. That was a rocket from close in, right around the hash marks near the top of the slot. So I don't know if Schwark was screened or if that was just a rocket, but in any event, Hilly cashes in for the Eastview Lightning, and that is the way to start if you're in blue and black.
Goal number 6 this year for Cole Hilly, the senior. He wants to be playing at least one more game in his high school career. We'll get the official announcement on who got the assist, but bottom line, 1-0 Lightning.
Cats being outshot here early in this game, 6-2. That is not a trend that, if the Cats want to be successful, it's not a trend that can continue. Cats have got to get some more shots on Scanlon. It'll be incumbent upon the Cats to score quickly, create offense quickly, get some momentum back from the Eastview Lightning.
I think they said O'Donnell with the assist, but it's hard to hear in here because it is noisy in the Civic Arena where we have that low roof, and this place is getting loud. That one was tipped on the way down, so no icing forthcoming. You know, you and I were here on Saturday. Eagan started out a little bit slow against Apple Valley Burnsville. We're able to get away with it against the Eagles. Not so much here against Eastview.
No, absolutely not. The Eagles in a program in a little different place than the Eastview Lightning. Cats, however, same team. They need to come out here. And again, giving up an early goal is not the end of the world. It's not like time to hang your head or anything like that. Just play your game. Just make connections with passes. Make sure you're putting things on, shots on frame, crashing for rebounds, not letting up, not giving away odd man rushes. Just play good fundamental hockey. There's still a ton of hockey game left.
Dwyer tried to get a long outlet pass to Negro. Unable to connect that time. I should say it's Nigro. Nigro. Nigro, Titus, and Heister. A trio for the Eastview Lightning. And here comes Dwyer. Oh, there's some moves by that young man. And Schwartz, a little slow on the glove there. If you're going to cover it, young man, you got to cover it. And Hillo. Dwyer, Titus in there for Eastview.
What was I saying about taking dump penalties?
Yeah, exactly. I think that's Turner in there for the Cats.
Turner's going to go.
Yep.
And I'm not saying necessarily it was a dump penalty for Turner because, he's got to watch it. He's got to be careful there, but he's going to go. No, there's no way Titus is going to get out of this without a penalty himself, right? This is going to be matching minors for both teams, right?
Well, the Eastview door is open right now to their penalty box. And now the Eagan one open, so Titus is going to sit.
They're going to get one of the Wildcats. I'm not sure who they'll get. I guess it looks like it's going to be Williams.
Okay.
So Williams and Titus matching minors here with 11:07 to go.
Yeah. Well, Ben Williams, the guilty party for the Eagan Wildcats. Of course, last time these teams met, Williams had a 2 and a 10 at one point.
And I think that's the right result. But that's the situation where Eagan was already going to get a penalty, and Titus, if he can keep control of himself there, he wins him. The Eastview Lightning with a 1-goal lead get a power play, and instead, it's matching minors, and we're playing 5v5.
Yep. 7 minutes into this one, 1-0 Eastview. Long outlet pass, trying to get Taylor, tried to sneak in behind Shilkin, but Shilkin able to recover for the Wildcats as Nygaard falls down at center, loses the puck. Ryan Groutman out, his first shift of the evening for the Wildcats, 40 in white.
Groutman getting his nickel's worth there on the finishing his check.
Well, he's out there with Nygaard and Turner, which would be the spot Williams is normally on. And Groutman quickly to the bench. In Pavic for the Wildcats, he loses the puck to Hilly. And Eastview looking to break out of the zone cleanly. Unable to do so, though, as Lunenburg gets in there for the Cats. And puck back out to neutral. Kahn and Hilly both reach for the puck, and it's going to be Hilly, watched closely by Thomas. Thomas, one of the 12 seniors on this Eagan squad. Thought he was going to try and do a Michigan there. And that goes just wide. That was Lunenburg with the shot. Here comes Ballman, another Eagan senior. Down that left side. Vobel keeps it in. Nice kick save there by Vobel. A right-footed save. Not going to get that one as the puck pops out to neutral, but it's O'Donnell for Eastview. It's basically stood up by Ballman. And Eastview to regroup. Dwyer to O'Donnell. Souvenir into the Eagan fan section. Everybody looks okay.
Well, good start here by the Eastview Lightning in the first handful of minutes, approaching the first half of the first period. Outshooting the Cats officially on the board 7-3. And right now the Cats need to get a little bit of offense going, a little bit of offensive ozone time, a little bit of consistent pressure. It's one of the things that, again, last time these two teams played, even though it was a 5-1 score at the end, the game was even for probably 2/3 of the game. It was pretty even, back and forth. Eastview just not able to take advantage of their scoring opportunities.
Chervold and Kreiser poked that one in together for the Wildcats. But Dwyer's going to be there for Eastview. He was shadowed by Larson. Shilkin pitches in at the near side. Larson will shoot. He's got Chervold coming down on a tip potential. And Scanlon gets the glove in the way of that one. Nice read by the junior netminder.
Oh, that's a great save by Scanlon. Nicely done. Like you said, he's got a player right in front of him with a stick down. Could have taken a tip, could have taken a flop. All sorts of challenges with Scanlon locked in on that puck. Nicely done.
9:08 to go, 1-0 Eastview. Hilly with the goal back at the 4:13 mark for the Eastview Lightning.
We got another Ryan Groutman sighting out here with Eagan and Turner.
Yep. Groutman, they couldn't get the pass over to him. Shilkin, he'll shoot through traffic. That puck is loose, but it's going to be Wooten for Eastview. He's got O'Donnell with him. O'Donnell is trying to leak behind a defender. Saucered across, could not connect. Nice job by the Eagan defender to get in the way of that one. It was Eilertson.
Nygaard with a great hustle play to get back on that one.
Groutman just sends it up. Nobody there wearing white. Hogginson will knock that one down for Eastview, and he'll head to the bench along with a couple of his teammates. Halfway through this first period, 1-0 Lightning here on ETV. Your home for Wildcat Sports. And can the Cats break out cleanly? No. And Wooten finishes his check right at the Eagan blue line.
I like the creativity on the other end, but blind passes to the middle, not necessarily what we want to see.
Ballman just backhands it around, Forster let it go, and it's getting Nygaard. He'll dump it all the way, and Scanlon will hang on. Thought he might play that one.
Well, look, you have a 1-goal lead. I know it's earlier. You have a 1-goal lead. There is no reason to take a risk. Drop that puck down. I think Scanlon absolutely makes the right call there.
Face-off will be to his right. Lunenburg to draw for the Wildcats. Future baseball player at Concordia St. Paul. Titus on the draw for Eastview. And Eastview nearly gets that one out of the zone. Domagalski, I think first time we've seen him on the ice tonight for Eastview. 25 in blue.
Yeah, a few players that are listed kind of well down on the line chart for both teams. Domagalski, Groutman getting some ice time here in the first period.
By the way, Williams and Titus are out of the box. So that might be the last we see of Groutman for a little while. He was kind of filling in for Williams with that Turner and Nygaard. Thomas, opportunity shot. Turnbull, that was saved. Rebound. That is it. Tied. Goal. Wildcats. I think it's Pavic.
It's Pavic. He strikes the pose. He's the thinker. Knee bent. Forehead on fist. Elbow on knee. Nicely done. Blake Pavic. And magically, the Wildcats and the Eastview Lightning are tied on shots, Mike Cook.
Pavic, goal number 5 of the year. Yeah, seven shots on goal apiece, 1 apiece to found the back of the net. Let's see if we can get the official word, but good pressure by the Wildcats, and they just created something there. Turtle got the second assist. Can't hear who got the first. Bottom line, though, it's 1-0 Wildcats. Good pressure right in front of that Eastview student section. Another quick shot. Larson whistles one wide.
Yeah, credit Scanlon there. I'm not sure, I'm not sure he was going to see that. There was a massive pile of humanity in front of Scanlon. That's offside.
Yep. Official was right there. And a little extra greetings, shall we say.
I think they're exchanging Instagram handles.
Yeah, Shapochnikov, and I believe was it Larson for the Wildcats?
Kreiser.
Brody Kreiser.
Yeah, stirring the pot. Kreiser stirring the pot again.
6:43 to go. Face-off just outside the Wildcat blue line. Again, in front of a packed house inside the Eagan Civic Arena. Hanson just dumps that one in. Kept in that time. Taylor for Eastview. Can the Cats get it out this time? No. Hanson, Taylor. That hit traffic in front. Williams unable to clear that one out.
Mike, another situation where the Cats have got the puck on their stick. They're not under pressure, and they're not getting it out of the zone. They've got to do a better job of getting it cleanly out of the zone. Instead, they're trying to make the cute pass or the little pass. Make the big pass. Go high, hard up the glass. Look, it's a tie hockey game. It's going to be a close hockey game. Just make the simple fundamental play. And sometimes it's almost like our eyes are bigger than our stomachs, right? It's like we think we can do something, and it's like maybe we don't need to do that. And it's, again, it's judgment, right? It's just judgment.
Pavonley on the draw that time for the Eastview Lightning, and Eastview does control briefly. Turner a little spin move, and he's actually going to get it back. That's his man far side. Cats with an opportunity, long shot. Scanlon fights that one off with the blocker. All the way back down. Will it be an ice? Official's arm is in the air. No, they waved it off. No, they did call it. Well, I was looking at the official with his arm up, and he was looking back at the referee like, do we call it or don't we? And I didn't hear a whistle.
Yeah, there was a whistle. Referee on the other end had his arm up the whole time. I think at that point you just have to blow the whistle, and it's a close call. Forrester's chasing it back. Could Forrester have gotten there? Well, close opportunity there.
Bottom line, face off in the Eastview zone. And Dwyer's going to get it for Eastview. Poke that one out. Wooten gets around his man, Eilertson. Wooten, he's got Taylor with him. Wooten to Taylor, couldn't quite connect. And Pavic is upended. No arm up coming, I believe. Nope. Yeah, Pavic a little slow to get up, but he's continuing on. He's a hockey player.
Yeah, Pavic is. I think the Eagan fan section might have a point there. That was the puck was well gone, and someone gave Pavic a lot of extra English. And I think they're going to now Pavic again.
Cross check.
Pavic again gets hit from behind. And now the Cats will have their first power play opportunity of the evening.
And it's Dwyer to sit for Eastview. Like I said, he wears the A for this Lightning squad. This is a top pair defenseman along with Sawyer Hogginson. 11:34, time of the infraction. Eastview 80% on the PK this year. Cats 15.2 on the PP.
I don't know how Blake Pavic got in everybody's skin, but he managed to draw this penalty. Big opportunity here for the Cats.
Yep. And they've got Williams back at the left point. Backhand across it. Rebound to the front. Goal! Nygaard on the rebound. That's why you crash the net.
That is why you crash the net. That's why you go to the net. That's why you set up a lemonade stand right at the top of the crease. That is what you do. And Lane Nygaard, nicely done. And suddenly, 10-8 shots and for the Wildcats, and now 2-1 for the Cats.
Nygaard, that'll be his 7th of the season. 4th best on the team. Turvold's got 8, Turner 10, and Williams 18. Well, we know Williams will get an opportunity. Vogel! Scanlon on that one. And Turner in there for the Cats. Look out.
So Max Turner, WWE style, AWA style, is taken off. And we're going to have. And Heist.
Oh, we got that was and Nygaard is going to be slow to get up.
That had to hurt. That he went down from behind.
Yep.
So we're gonna have some misconduct penalties here as well as some minors. We might even have a major. We'll see.
I don't know. I don't think they're quite putting on the foil yet tonight, but yeah, this one's going to be physical. Heister's going to sit for Eastview. I can't imagine that's the only penalty.
They're going to take Turner 2. I'm okay with that. That makes sense. There have to be at least 2. I'm sorry, but there have got to be 2 Lightning players in the box, given the foolishness that we just saw.
Wildcats.
If they're going to take Turner, they're going to take a Wildcat. Then they got to take another Lightning player. If it's just Heister for the foolishness at the very end of that, that's fine. But I'll tell you, that's a very dangerous. He grabs a player and brings him down backwards.
Dwyer to sit in as well. I wonder, did he get a 2 and a 10?
It might be a 2 and a 10. Yep.
It was Zach Heiser in the box, and then Dwyer came over to join.
I have to listen for the ultimate announcement here.
If we can even hear it.
Coach Kreiser, you can see right side of your screen, down talking to the referees. And I got to say, what's so dangerous about that is you pull a player down from behind.
Oh, there goes.
You pull a player down from behind, and there's a chance he's going to hit his head, and that's when Nygaard goes down. There's no way they're going to take 2 Wildcats here.
Want to bet?
Okay, I think Coach Kreiser's got a point here. This should not be happening.
Or did an Eagan player get a 2 and a 10 as well?
It's possible.
I don't know. There's nothing on the board yet. Well, we said at the outset, Eastview, Eagan, need you say more?
Yeah, well, I think we said something about staying out of the box, not taking dumb penalties.
Yep.
Virtually all the penalties that we just saw are the definition of dumb penalties. Scanlon, go back to the beginning of that sequence. Scanlon was barely, I'm not sure if anybody touched Scanlon, right, when he froze that puck. And instead, everybody and their brother decides we're going to start pushing and shoving, and of course then it escalates from there. So, I mean, this is, both sets of players need to be smarter about staying on the board, staying on the ice, and not taking dumb penalties.
So you've got 2 officials talking to Eastview head coach Aaron Fulton, 2 talking to Eagan head coach Austin Kreiser. Meanwhile, there's 5:07 to go in the first. 2-1 our score in favor of the Wildcats on a goal 10 seconds ago by Nygaard, which seems like a lot longer than just 10 seconds, doesn't it?
Well, it absolutely seems like a lot longer. I'll say this. The other thing is
Well, now Spray is standing outside the box for Eastview. He's listed as a 4th liner, number 40.
So it probably is a 2 and 10 situation.
Yeah, I mean, do we have offsetting roughings and then a 10?
Well, no. No, I don't think so. I think we've got. This should be a power play. Yeah. Well, at first I thought it was going to be a power play for the Wildcats.
Well, both teams have 5 skaters.
But both players have 5 on the ice.
Well, Eastview, one guy just went off. Eagan says the draw should be in the Eastview zone.
So I think
there is a 2 minutes on the board now against Heister.
All right.
So I'm assuming
it's a penalty. No, well, wait a minute. It's a penalty. In any event, we play on. I don't get it.
It's 5-on-4 right now, Eagan. Yeah, I don't know what all the. We'll see if we can hear it, what all is going on. But yeah, we get a section playoff game between 2 big rivals. I used this line before this year, but varsity game and a junior gold contest breaks out. 1:30 to go, man advantage, Wildcats. Forrester couldn't get it. O'Donnell, nice tip for Eastview. Lunenburg to regroup for the Cats. Bad turnover. Dwyer will shoot that all the way down. Or not Dwyer. That was 26, Shane Klein. Both have a 6 in their number, and they're both good size. Eastview, nice job of keeping this in the zone. Opportunity, Wooten! And net is off after a little shoving. Wooten collided with, I believe that was Eilertson. Or Forrester checked that.
Well, the referees are going to have to be careful here. I'll tell you right now that it sure looked like one of those players pushed that net off intentionally down there, didn't it?
No, I think he got checked into it.
Did he get knocked into it?
Yeah, I think it's a good call, a good no call. Yeah,
well,
Forrester, I thought kind of pushed him into it. Finishing his check, I don't think it was an intentional push by any means.
Got it. We still don't have the report on the penalties here. I'm sure at some point we'll get them, but in the event, the Cats are supposed to be on the power play, but they're not acting like it at the moment.
No, a minute gone by in this man advantage. I'll see if they can break out of the zone this time with a 2-1 lead. Stays on side. Here's Williams, gets around that backhand, forehand, and Scanlon has got it. We've got a penalty. Look out, here we go again.
And we're going to have another poor decision by the Lightning. They had a penalty. They were going to even up, and they were going to have a power play as Williams made contact with Scanlon, and now we're going to get matching minors.
I don't know. Well,
Titus, the referee's telling Titus to go to the box.
Williams has got to go.
Williams is probably going to go to the box.
I thought Williams might get it for running into Scanlon.
Yeah,
Scanlon has got some words for Williams.
Oh, you know what, though? I'll tell you right now. The Eastview coaching staff is absolutely livid at Titus.
Yep.
They are screaming at him. They're hitting glass. They are so angry at him for taking a penalty there when they were going to get even up. And that's the second bad decision that he's made here in the first period alone.
So Williams for Eagan. We said Titus is going to set for Eastview. Eastview fans, some kind of chant. But, yeah, Scanlon, as they kind of skated off, he was looking at Williams, and that wasn't high. That was a few other words I'm guessing were being exchanged.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, Williams has got the puck. He's on a breakaway, right? He's got the puck. He's on a breakaway. he certainly cannot make contact with Scanlon. To the extent he made contact with Scanlon and runs him over, absolutely that's a penalty. You got to call that. Absolutely. But at the same time, it's not like he's doing it. He's got the puck. He's trying to score a goal. And oh, by the way, there are 2 Eastview Lightning players hot on his trail. He's not in full control of himself. So we've got 4 Wildcats and 4 Eastview Lightning players in the box. Do not adjust your screens.
So we got Titus on a rough. Both roughing. I believe Titus and Williams both got a rough.
Sounds that way.
Well, actually, no, they've got. No, did Williams get a double? Well, there's. Right now they've got a.
But wait a minute.
They got Williams for 2 minutes up on the board. Eastview just has the one from before with Heister.
Titus should have a penalty up on the board as well for a rough.
Let's see if they just take Williams off. I thought those would be offsetting. Well, Eagan's got 4 skaters out. So does Eastview.
This should be 4v3 out there right now. Something is wrong here. Well, from our perspective, something's wrong here. But
we can't hear. But did Williams get a double minor? Now we got another quick whistle.
Yeah, I don't know what. One of the Eastview players went to the box along with Williams, so he had to have drawn a penalty unless he got a misconduct penalty.
That's what I'm wondering.
Maybe he got a misconduct penalty.
We're going to try to figure all this out after the period.
I was going to say after the period, it'll be an interesting conversation down there, won't it? Yep. 4v4 anyway.
Exactly. So a little more open ice.
Yeah, got to be smart.
Well, we said when these teams met, what was that, back on January 24th, Eagan had 10 penalties, Eastview had 5. High off the glass and in. 4-on-4 for another 20 seconds, and then Eastview will have a 1:14 power play.
Yeah, Lightning right now just trying to kill this off, make sure they can get to a power play.
Here's Lunenburg tied up nicely by Wooten, but Vobel's going to pick up the loose puck. Vobel cuts to the inside, forehand, tried to go up high on Scanlon, but Scanlon makes the save.
Good job guarding that near post.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, Mike.
I'm sorry to say, Eastview now at full strength, by the way. Aggressive play that time by the Wildcats. Turvold, Eilertson on Wooten.
Yep, nothing there. Everybody in blue and black looking for a penalty. But referee saying everybody get up. There's just 2 guys coming together.
Yep, Eastview unable to connect that time back into the zone. 45 to go, man advantage. Yeah, Wooten, when he skated off, you could tell he was feeling the effects of that double hit.
Well, it's like it's almost like he was trying to step through it, and he got a little bit up off the. I think he's got his skates off the ice, and that was part of the situation. It's a quality player.
Yep, Shepeshnikov in deep for Eastview. He'll actually come away with the puck out of that scrum. Here's Klein. Looked like he wanted to shoot, didn't. Cross Taylor never had a chance. That deflected off something on the way through. Might have been O'Donnell. 18 to go, man advantage. Klein shadowed by Turvold. And all the way down. Might be enough to kill off the power play that has 9 seconds left. 2 minutes to go in the period. Again, 2-1 Wildcats. Eastview had the first. Eagan got the next 2. Shepeshnikov in and offsides, I believe, on Eastview. No extracurriculars.
Just in early, and now we've got a whole bunch of Lightning players and Wildcats. Everybody's getting out. The benches. The penalty boxes have emptied.
Look at Ann Swanrug over there. She's the trainer on site. She's got a little bit of room to breathe now. Mitch Snowbeck over there on site duty for Eagan tonight.
Shots 12-9 in favor of the Wildcats. This last few minutes, though, it seemed a little choppier.
And remember there was 7-3 Eastview at one point? Here's Turner. Turner the shot. Scanlon gets that one aside with the right blocker. Another shot. Rebound is there. Puck is loose, and Scanlon gets it down. Turner was coming in. Little feistiness there by the Eastview goaltender. That I think Turner was pretty clean that time, but as we said, these guys are amped up.
Absolutely. Referee reminding Scanlon, look, hey, take it easy. We're going to protect you. Scanlon obviously a little sensitive about the last time he got run into. I respect that. Totally get it. but he's got to make sure he takes it easy too. Because here's the other thing about Scanlon: if Scanlon mixes it up with somebody, somebody in blue and black's going to jump in with him and for him, and that could create a situation where the Lightning are picking up a penalty that they really shouldn't be having.
Here comes Nygaard with an opportunity. A long outlet pass. Nygaard across. Oh, Williams couldn't quite convert on a 2-on-1. That close to a 3-1 Wildcat lead. Puck stays loose. Boy, Scanlon is really kind of fighting the puck right now, giving up some rebounds.
Oh, Williams could not get that puck. He could not get that puck to sit down for him exactly where he wanted. It was going to be, I had the same opinion you did, Mike. I thought that would certainly be a tap in his knee guard, set it on a plate.
And I didn't see who was at the long outlet pass off the boards to spring knee guard. Might have been Vobel, but I can't say that with certainty. Definitely a left-shotted defenseman.
Well, if the Cats started slow, Mike, they have come into this game.
Yep, here's Turvold for the Cats. Under 30 to go in the period. Puck is loose up front. Nice job there to Scanlon to poke that out of harm's way. Turvold with an odd-angle shot. Glove save. Pavic and Klein, and then somebody comes in. That's Wooten, I believe, comes in to give Pavic a little shove.
Thomas in there to play peacemaker.
Leon Thomas, 6'2", 195, number 4 in white.
I've always appreciated the guys who just stand there they grab a guy, stretch their arm out and say, okay, we're not fighting, but I'm also not going to let you hit my guy anymore.
Exactly. 21.7 to go. Probably last line change of the period. Cats put that Nygaard, Turner, Williams group up there. Taylor, Pavonley, Wooten out for Eastview. Eastview's Klein at one defensive spot. Cats have Forrester, and I think it's Eilerson far side.
Nice face-off win by the Cats there. Turner doing a great job of getting to that one.
Oh, Wooten and Williams. Eastview coach is looking for a call, not getting one. One of their assistants was animated about that no call. Williams loses a helmet.
Well, I was going to say, it's Williams that loses his helmet, and helmets don't come off unless you're getting hit in the head. So, I don't know, maybe that would have been a good one to just let go.
Eastview students with some kind of chant directed at, I don't know if that was directed at Williams or who. A brief chant. Scanlon, steers that one to the corner. Dwyer, can they get it out? Pavonley, last seconds, will he get a shot off before the buzzer? He will. Schwark, and we got Kreiser with Wooten. I didn't see what started it, I just saw the end of it.
It was just a little bit of, again, exchanging Instagram handles on the way down the ice is the Eastview Lightning. Left side of your screen, congratulate Charlie Scanlon on a solid period.
Yeah. Cats 17 shots on goal after us. Considering they had a pretty slow start offensively.
Who else had a solid period was Austin Schwark at the other end. I mean, not too much seemed to get by. There was the rooftop shot early by Hilly, but other than that, he has been very, very solid. And the Cats have got to be feeling good about where they're at. Again, they started slow, and then they've come back into it.
Well, both teams are going to go to their locker rooms, and we'll come back with second period action in a little bit. You're watching Wildcat Hockey on ETV. back inside the Eagan Civic Arena. We're after a, shall we call it an eventful first period. It's 2-1. Eagan over Eastview. Section 3 AA quarterfinals. Winner of this game most likely going to face the Rosemount Irish. Last report, Rosemount up on Apple Valley Burnsville 5-0 in the third. Not much of a surprise there, but that game against Rosemount will be 5 o'clock Friday up at the Bloomington Ice Garden, by the way. And he's Nathan Cron, I'm Mike Cook. And Nathan, it's not just you and I here. We've got a pretty all-star Eagan TV crew here as well.
Yeah, we do. We have an award-winning ETV crew. It's our executive producer is Josh Sibley, our director Jared Greenberg, and cameras tonight are handled by Brad Lester and Robbie Butler. Thanks so much for making us look and sound so good. We're just the volunteers that hang out and call the game, but you guys do a lot of work, and we really do appreciate it. Also want to say thanks to everybody watching us, whether you're an Eastview fan, an Eagan fan, or just like a lot of good high school hockey, as it is going to be eventful from here on out for the next 34 minutes. I don't expect either team to run away with this one. It's going to be exciting stuff. And I want to say thanks for joining us no matter where you are, Eagan, Minnesota, Aberdeen, South Dakota, Bradenton, Florida, or Chautauqua, Wisconsin.
Yeah, Carol Gibson checking in from Chautauqua. And we cannot forget the Schwartz grandparents and the Kleins also in Orange Beach, Alabama. And Grandma and Grandpa Kreiser checking in from Brainerd, Minnesota. So again, we appreciate you tuning in wherever you are. I also understand we've got Bethany Lutheran College. They're checking us out tonight with Halvar and some of the roommates. I guess kids are bypassing studying for this one. And here comes Dwyer for Eastview. Schwartz says, I got that, and I'll hang on to it. Hey, Nathan, we were talking that first period. There was that whole plethora of penalties, shall we say. You went over and figured out what all that was about.
I did. We took a look at the book afterwards, and apparently what happened was a number of these penalties were 2-minute misconducts. That's how they were described. I wasn't aware there was. In all my years of following or being a hockey parent or following hockey, broadcasting, or whatever, never heard of 2-minute misconduct penalties, but that's what we ended up having. So they were listed as a bunch of roughs, but then it says misconduct next to it. So in any event, that's why so many of the boys got out of the box at the same time.
Yeah, I wonder if somebody just wrote down misconduct when they shouldn't have. I don't know. Here come the Cats into the zone for the first time this period. And Scanlon with another save for the Eastview Lightning. That'll be his 16th of the evening.
Yeah, Cats started slow, down, being outshot 7-3 early in the first period, as you pointed out, Mike. And now they're ahead of the Lightning 18-10. Lightning just have to stay cool. We'll also have to see in this period which team can make the transition from, okay, we're going to push and shove and maybe pick up a 2-minute minor or two. Let's be real smart about this. Let's not do anything that's going to create a situation where we're killing off a penalty.
Yeah, I can't imagine that either coach was too pleased with his, shall we say, the physicality, post-whistle physicality in that opening period. Again, we said these teams, it was a 3-2 game back in December down at the Apple Valley Sports Arena. 5-1 here about 3 weeks ago, maybe 24th of January, so maybe almost a month. And again, Eagan had both of those wins, so that thing about it's tough to beat a team 3 times. And right now the Cats are doing just that with that 2-1 lead, but a lot of hockey yet to be played here tonight. There's Ballman for the Wildcats. Ballman tied up nicely, backhand, nobody there. The Cats were making a change. Here comes O'Donnell on the rush for Eastview. They'll cut to the middle. Nice poke that time by Shilkin. Couldn't quite get out, however, kept in by Eastview, and they're going to change up, I believe, 4 players on that far side. Turvold finishes his check on Heister. Heister had one of those roughing penalties back in those scrums. Basically tackled Nygaard at one point. Schwartz sends that one. I think that got out, didn't it? And it did, right in front of the Eastview bench.
Yeah, referee says, linesman says that it did, and Lightning bench not overly incensed about that call, so I don't think there's too much disagreement.
Mentioned the Eagan Wildcats last time out, they beat Apple Valley Burnsville by a 5-2 count. Vobel, Larson, Williams, Shilkin, Turner with goals. That snapped a 3-game losing streak for the Wildcats, who had lost to Shakopee, Lakeville South, and Rosemount. 3 quality teams there. Eastview comes in, we said they've lost 8 of 9 over the course of the past month. Their lone win a 7-0 win over Apple Valley Burnsville.
Big conflagration there, left side of your screen. Hard to see with the Eastview student section. Don't usually have big student sections here at the Eagan Civic Arena for the visitors, but Eastview Lightning is showing their numbers and showing their pride.
I just had a parent talk to me between the periods and just said, how great is it to see this place like this? Whoa, Schwark! That puck is somewhere underneath. That puck is still covered up. Is it under an Eagan defenseman? I believe it is.
I think Schwark just moved his pads. I think.
Oh, did he? Okay.
I think what happened was
Forrester was the one down on the ice.
Yeah, there are a number of Eastview fans saying, "Wait a minute, didn't he cover that in the crease?" First of all, I don't think it was in the crease.
No, I don't either.
But second of all, I'm not sure that he covered. He certainly didn't cover with his hand. I think he fell on top of it and then realized, "Wait a minute, we're in a bit of danger here." So I think he pushed it up under. I think it was like the old Fumblerooski, where he pushed it up under Schwark's pads and got the frozen puck.
That's what teammates are for.
Yeah.
Nearly 3 minutes gone by in the second. We stay 2-1 Wildcats. Opportunity there, Eastview. They scored on a similar play like that back in the first period. Quick draw back, shot, goal by Hilly.
Yeah, Hilly absolutely launched a rocket into the top corner. And if I were the Wildcats, I would definitely be careful off these face-offs. Somebody in that inside trio or quartet needs to break hard for the top of the circle, try to take that shot away.
22, that was Pavonley for Eastview, I should say. Why did I almost say Apple Valley? Eastview's in Apple Valley, the east side of town. Down into the corner. Puck's going to come away in favor of Eagan, but turnover this time. Here's number 4 in deep. That's Wooten. Puck back out. Dwyer couldn't quite keep that one in at the blue line, and he'll just ring it down the near side boards safely. Wooten comes in, head of steam. Wooten with some wheels. Gets actually blew right past an Eagan defenseman, and Schwark able to poke that one away. What a rush, though, by Sam Wooten. 17 goals this year has Mr. Wooten.
Yeah, it's a real show of quality, wasn't it? Real show of quality. And that is the kind of stuff I forget. I don't remember seeing anything about him playing juniors next year or what he's doing next year, but it wouldn't shock me we've called his name a number of times over the years. You know, it wouldn't shock me if that's where he's headed.
Face-off, Cats control this time. They're going to ring around near side. Pavic pokes it out. 3-on-2 potential. Back to Lunenburg. Lunenburg backhand. Rebound is there. Pavic! And somehow Scanlon is on top of that puck.
Scanlon with nerves of steel, staying focused on that one. I think Scanlon not overly happy with the number of bodies falling around him, but to be honest with you, it's both teams and it's a lot of bodies.
Yep.
And no one really landed on him, it looked like, and notably, as opposed to the first period, no foolishness after the whistle.
Correct.
Which it was good to see.
I'm not sure I want Brandon Lunenburg coming down on me.
I don't think I want him falling on me either.
Lunenburg, 6'1", 225, 14 in white. O'Donnell's going to punt, just loft that one into the zone. Pechnikov in for Eastview. And there's a penalty upcoming. Cats to go on the power play. Now, will the Cats be smart and not take one as well? Ballman going to come out of the zone. Cats 6 skaters right now. There's the delayed penalty. Here's Pavic. Kreiser with him. Pavic controls. He's got Forrester behind him. Near side, Lunenburg back up top. Ballman, and it's touched. And it's going to be a trip. Let's see who it's going to be on. 4:21 time of the infraction. And it looks like it's going to be
Hilly. Yep, it'll be Hilly.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, unfortunate for Hilly that time. He's leaning on a Wildcat. He's got his stick out, and the Wildcat goes down, and that's, it's a trip. And again, the Eastview bench not overly incensed about it. Everybody in the crowd, but everybody I think understood that was the right call. Just for Hilly, unfortunately, he's not trying to trip him. He's trying to lean on him. But when that stick comes out, bad things can happen.
Yeah, the official was looking right at it. Very easy call for the man in stripes. Well, the Cats did get a power play goal back in the first period. That was Nygaard with the power play goal. And Eagan looking to bring it out of their own zone. Everybody seems to be set. And here they come, Williams. That went off the skate of Wooten, and Cats will try this once again. This time it's going to be Eilertson. Will he be leading the rush? He will. He's going to go Vobel far side. Vobel to Williams. Williams got room down the right side. He's got Nygaard trailing just behind Nygaard, and Wooten will wisely dump that out for Eastview.
Cats have got to get on the same page here. Schwark's going to handle it. Thought better of going down the ice, but again, Cats gained the zone well that time, but got to get this timing down.
Halfway through the power play for the Wildcats. Williams, far side, trying to get a give and go tip. Scanlon, they're giving a little extra shove to Williams with the stick. Here's Vobel at the half wall. He'll send it down low. Eilertson's back up top. It looked like they tried to get back to he. And Eastview, nice penalty kill thus far by the Lightning. Schwark out to play it right at the left dot. Cat's going to change up a couple of guys with 32 to go man advantage. Thomas gives chase. Scanlon pokes it around. Pavic to do the one-timer. Didn't get all of it, but I think he was trying to get Thomas on a tip. Kept in Lunenburg. Lunenburg watched by Dwyer. 15 to go man advantage. Thomas, Dwyer, Lunenburg back. Lunenburg's got it near side. Turbold shot. Oh, just missed near side. Heister was on defense there, but it got past him. Eastview, by the way, back at full strength as Thomas loses the puck behind the net to Pavic. Pavic tied up by Dwyer. Thomas in to help out. Thomas and Pavic, Dwyer, and I believe it's Titus on the far side for Eastview. It is. Right in front of the bumper cars that you can rent here at the Civic Arena. Nice bumper car rides. Turvold couldn't get that one. Look out. Oh, Heister got behind the defense. Heister, Schwark. Still 2-1 Eagan.
Schwark saving the Wildcats bacon. Nicely done. Austin Schwark, he's pumped. I tell you, how much confidence does that young man have to absolutely, I don't think Heister got quite on that what he wanted. I mean, I think he wanted it to be a little more creative or get it a little farther away from Schwark, but man, Heister was all by himself just outside the Wildcat blue line. Cats have got to be smart. Again, what do we talk about? Fundamental hockey. Fundamentally, don't let the other guy behind you.
And that was the second time Heister nearly got out because the Eagan defenseman nearly got burned. He pushed in to stop it. Eastview then poked it back out to Heister, and then he went against Schwark. And you know they're loving that on the shores of the Gulf Coast down in Orange Beach, Alabama. The Schwark grandparents.
Well, what's not to love? That being said, the Cats have got to be smart here. They got to get some offensive, a little bit of offensive pressure would be nice.
There's a little bit of pressure there. Another round opportunity. Not sure Scanlon had a good look at that, but he made the save. Back across, tried to get Turner. Williams thought about it. He will shoot. And blocker save that time, Scanlon. Cats up to 23 shots on goal with just under 9.5 to go in the second. Just 12 for Eastview.
Cats enjoying a little bit of extended zone opportunity here. That's definitely not a trend the Lightning are going to be overly thrilled with.
Nygaard ties up his man right in front of all those banners of the Eagan seniors. 12 of them this year. Turvold. Stop. Delayed. One on about 4. Tried to get the guy coming down the backside. That was Garrett Larson. Back up top, Ballman. No, didn't get all of that one. Turvold kind of steered that one away. I think Eastview would be thrilled to get an icing right here.
Yeah, the Lightning definitely need a stoppage of play here.
Turvold couldn't quite keep that one in. Ballman just chops it ahead. Will it be enough for Eastview to change? They got one fresh skater on, but that's it. Brody Kreiser in, tried to get the tip. Kreiser avoids the big hit behind the play. We're halfway home in this hockey game. 2-1 Cats. And Eastview looking to break it out. I would imagine we'll see a number of these few players head to the bench. As I say that, it's just a couple of them. Wooten's going to stay out among others. Wooten backhand, tried to get it to Titus, couldn't do it. Larson dumps that one out. But the Wildcats again, they had numbers 2-on-1, couldn't quite connect. Ballman just punches that one in from his blue line spot.
Yeah, I could see what Turvold was trying to do. It just didn't come off for him.
Ballman lost that to skates briefly. He and Wooten were both kind of looking for it. Holberg dumps that one in. Should be enough for some more changes. Kreiser and Ballman head off for the Wildcats. Eilertson, one of those that jumped on. Pavic, the other for the home team. And Andrew Volbo looking to lead the rush this time up for the Wildcats. Dwyer. Dwyer's shot. Schwartz steers that one aside. Easy save for the sophomore. All the goals in the first period. Lunenburg across. Opportunity. Thomas! Oh. Cats couldn't quite get it.
I couldn't tell if Scanlon made a great save there or if his defense tied him up. We'll have to go back and look at the tape afterwards, but in any event, the Eastview Lightning may have just saved their season right there.
I thought it was both. I thought Scanlon and a tie-up, but so Eastview missed on a Heister breakaway. Cats with a great opportunity there for Liam Thomas. But we stay 2-1. Pavic battles with Hilly. Pavic goes down. He and Scanlon. Scanlon a little shove to the back of Pavic's head.
Somebody was looking for Pavic to get a penalty when he got taken down. I didn't see a penalty there at all.
I don't think so either.
And sometimes players fall down, go boom, and it's not a penalty.
And Eastview unable to keep that one, and Williams tried to poke it ahead, but Klein with that long reach able to get in the way for Eastview. Nonetheless, Turner, Nygaard with him. Turner backhand, no. Williams up top. Nygaard, Turner going to go low. Turner and Hansen collide. Klein on Nygaard. Nygaard right now has got the game-winning goal back in the 11:43 of the first. Something tells me it won't stand as the, well, if Eagan wins multiple to 1. It's inside 6 to go in the second.
Both teams playing a much more controlled, composed second period. We have had a penalty, but it wasn't much of one.
Here's Brody Kreiser to regroup. Shilkin, I believe, had a goal on senior day last time out. He did. There's Garrett Larson off the bench for the Cats. Eastview looking for a too many men penalty. Aaron Fulton a little upset, to say the least, over there with the officials. He might have a case, I got to admit.
He might have a case. It's hard to. There were a number of players jumping on and off. It was hard to, honestly, from where I was sitting, I wondered if that might be an issue, but didn't see anything obvious. It wasn't clear.
Here's Turvold for the Cats. Turvold and Kreiser. Thomas far side. Scanlon steers that aside. Tied up nicely, that job by the Eastview defender. That was Pavonli. Kept in. Cats. Ballman, one-timer. Rebound is there again. Kreiser was on the doorstep, and this will be an ice against Eastview with 4:42 to go in the second.
They're much more composed, much more under control. Entertaining hockey still, even though we haven't had any goals. Shots have really started to mount up. 26-13 in favor of the Wildcats.
Just a reminder, winner of this game, 5 o'clock Friday up at the Bloomington Ice Garden section semis. Rosemont Irish will be the opponent. Top-seeded Rosemont Irish in this section. Again, this is a 5-4 matchup with Eastview and Eagan. Yeah, arm is in the air. Whistle is blown. Face-off back in the Eastview zone after Wooten. A little pushing and shoving there with one of the Wildcats. That was Ballman.
Yeah, so again, Wooten's just got to take a deep breath there. It's icing. It sucks to skate all the way down there and have the whistle blow on you. But Ballman didn't do anything. He and Wooten are exchanging Instagram handles as they go back to the face-off. Again, that's a situation where if Ballman loses his bounce and goes down, Wooten picks up a 2-minute minor. So you just got to be under control.
Lunenburg to draw for the Cats. Isaac Pavonli for Eastview. Here comes Wooten. How much do you think we're going to see Sam Wooten on the ice the rest of this game for Eastview?
I hope he took his Flintstones vitamins this morning, because my guess is he's going to be out there quite a bit.
Absolutely.
And if I was the Eastview coaching staff, that's who I'd have on the ice. That's who I would have.
100%. Austin
That's
Dwyer,
who I'd have out there.
Austin Dwyer, their defenseman, I would imagine. Same situation. You can tell Eagan student section looking down towards the Eastview student section. I can't tell what that's all about. Nygaard to poke it out for the Cats, but it's going to be Dwyer to regroup. Hawkinson near side. Not going to happen. Here comes Turner. He came cruising through the neutral zone to get that puck. Williams, Shilkin.
Turner on the edge of being absolutely out of control there. Lucky he didn't crash awkwardly.
That turnover, Eilertson. Oh, he lost the puck at neutral. Williams with Turner. Williams down low, trying to get a Turner in front. Turner was tied up that time by Taylor. Again, Katz. Williams shot. And another save for Scanlon. Williams has had the hot hand when it comes to scoring for the Wildcats. 7 times in the last 8 games he's had a goal. 10 total in that span.
Well, Williams would be one of those guys that you want to get on the ice, whenever you absolutely can.
Yeah, and Williams, like we said, did not play at that Rosemount game a little under a week ago. Battling an illness that night.
Williams only a junior, but quite the leader. Big hit there by Eilertson. Referee says we're good.
Eagan student section, the USA out. They enjoyed that hit. Long shot, Scanlon, he'll hang on. Again, Nathan, I look at it, I look around this rink and I'm still in awe. This place is absolutely packed.
Well, wouldn't it be fun to have this, wouldn't it be fun to have this every year, right? Maybe for the Wildcat hockey program, maybe this is the beginning. Again, they've got a lot of seniors this year that they got to replace, but they have a JV team that had a very successful season. Might take them a little while to get going next year, given the number of graduations. This is not uncommon with varsity sports, but maybe this is a start of a trend for the Wildcats hosting a quarterfinal game every year, because it sure is exciting, and we're lucky to be here.
Somebody reminded me before they remodeled in here, there was a lot of, on the one end you could stand above everything and watch as well, so you lost some of your availability with that, but yeah, they're like 2 deep around the glass, people standing on benches. Just a fun night of hockey and a tremendous atmosphere. Inside 3 to go in the second. Eastview still looking for that equalizer. Shilkin, that one never got all the way through. Klein's going to ring it around the boards. Eilertson dumps that. Played with a high stick, I think. No, they're going to say. Hanson's going to get it back, though, on the near side, right in front of his student section. Tried to use a defenseman as a screen, didn't happen. Sveshnikov, Hilly, nice block by Kreiser. Kreiser laying out, and he was able to poke that one out as he and Hilly battle. Turvold against Hanson. Advantage, Turvold staying with the puck. So blind pass towards the middle, gets away with it. He's actually going to get it back. Oh, Turvold tried to get it to Pavic. And O'Donnell's going to loft that one out for Eastview.
Oh, A for effort for Turvold. He was doing everything possible to try to set up his teammates there.
Thomas to Pavic. Thought he might shoot. He will shoot from that odd angle off the boards. Steered that one aside. Scanlon. Eastview going to bring it out of the zone. Only leading the rush this time as Eastview changes up everybody else that time down the ice. With just over a minute and a half to go in this second. Still 2-1 Eagan Wildcats.
Well, if the Lightning and the Wildcats go to the locker rooms with this same scoreline, I got to tell you, it's a big advantage to the Eastview Lightning. The Cats have had substantially more shots in this second period.
That was poked ahead. Nice clear that time by Thomas at the end of his shift. He headed straight for the bench, justifiably so. Shots right now 12-4 this period. Oh.
That hits side netting. Yep. Schwark was fooled.
And Schwark gets that one as the shots are now 12-5 this period. As we're inside a minute to go in the second.
Yeah, I think if they go 2-1 into the second intermission, Mike, given the number of shots that the Cats have had, I have to say it's a big advantage for the Lightning. Big advantage for the Lightning that they're still 2-1 down. Again, they've got to somehow solve Schwark, and they've had a great opportunity to go begging earlier in the game, earlier in the period with a breakaway. But we are where we are.
Yep. There's one Eastview fan looking for a call there. Arm quickly went up by somebody with a blue sleeve down there. Williams just backhands that one in. Eastview's got a man leaking out. That's Wooten. He's got Dwyer. Dwyer! Schwark! Dwyer just drops his stick in disbelief.
Well, he dropped his stick because he broke his stick. It's a lawn sale, a yard sale, lawn sale, yard sale. It's a yard sale down next to Austin Schwark, and everything is 42% off.
Or half price.
Or half price,
that
yeah.
Stick
the stick is broken in half. Yeah, he's That's frustrating. You take that in, you go in, and all of a sudden your stick snaps on you. Oh, my goodness gracious. And whether you're an Eagan parent or an Eastview parent, you know what that costs. And it stinks.
Yep.
You feel for that family.
40.2. Yeah, if you're Eastview, you couldn't really get a better two-on-one coming down with Wooten and Dwyer.
Nope.
Here's Wooten. He'll keep that one in right in front of his bench. Eastview looking to get something here in the final 28 seconds. Pressure continues on. Only backhand. Oh, I thought that was going to try to go off the top shoulder of Schwark. Eastview keeps the pressure on. Here's Dwyer. Odd angle shot. Schwark save. Turner pokes it out. Eastview pokes it back in. They're going to have to tag. They do. And Eagan, I think, well, I thought they were just going to kind of sit on it in the corner. Puck comes out. Well, how's that for a second period? On the score sheet, it looks uneventful with just one penalty, but that was an entertaining period.
It was entertaining hockey. Both teams, again, playing smart hockey, good fundamental hockey with a few minor exceptions that created some scoring chances for the other team. But we go down to the third period now with a score 2-1 favor of the Cats, but Lightning absolutely in this hockey game. It's a 4-5 seed, effectively a pick'em type situation, Mike, and you shrug your shoulders and say, this is exactly what we thought was going to happen.
So if you're checking us out from wherever you are, go refill your beverage, refill your bowl of chips, and come back for third period action. You're watching Wildcat Hockey on ETV. Section playoff hockey from the Eagan Civic Arena. Just as we should in a 4-5 matchup, we've got ourselves a one-goal hockey game as we go to the third, possibly final period of this one tonight. I'm Nathan Tron, I'm Mike Cook, and Nathan, you just gave me that look like, don't you even suggest free hockey tonight. But hey, the way this game is going, you know, a fluke bounce one way or the other, and we have a tie game potentially, or Eagan with a comfortable lead.
Hey, to our friends and neighbors watching on ETV, it's all free hockey, but you're right.
That's how much you and I are working for, by the way.
That's how much you and I are working for, exactly. What I will say, though, is if you're the Wildcats, you definitely don't want to let the Eastview Lightning hang around. You need to get something here in the first handful of minutes of this period to try and consistent offensive pressure to try to create, to try to force Eastview into making mistakes or into taking maybe a dumb penalty or a penalty because you've got a breakaway, whatever it is. You got to keep your head. You're the Eastview Lightning. You just got to keep putting shots on Schwark. You just have to keep putting shots on him, crashing the net, playing good fundamental hockey. And definitely both teams, the way they played that second period, that's how they need to play here in the third period. Smart, composed, not taking, taking dumb penalties, not retaliating. Just play your game and let the chips fall where they may.
See the Eastview Lightning on the ice, and here comes the home team. And then always picks up just a little bit here in the Civic Arena. Austin Schwark leading him out. Schwark 16 saves thus far for the Wildcats. Charlie Scanlon at the other, and he's got 27 saves for Eastview. And we saw Eastview, I think, back when we had that game, was it almost a month ago, but at that point, Eastview gave up a lot of shots per game at that point. So Scanlon's got plenty of action, seeing that frozen disc come at him this year. And again, he's had a nice year for the Eastview Lightning, coming in with a 356 goals against average, all things considered. Save percentage is .906. So when you're seeing that much rubber coming at you, the Eastview fans, they're making some noise, at least the student section is. As we look down to the Eagan's fans, no answer.
Not right now. They're just they're saving their vocal cords. You see a whole host of people, and again, as you say, they're 2 and 3 deep around the boards, around the end line or the end boards, and it's exciting stuff. It's a great look. This is Minnesota high school hockey. We may not get a lot of state tournament buzz here, all right, here on ETV, but I'll tell you right now, it feels kind of like our little state tournament right
Absolutely.
now.
And how much do you think these guys are thinking about? You get potential bragging rights, if nothing else. Look out. Well, Schwark, that's pretty good. Nearly tied up 10 seconds in, but Schwark on his game.
Pavoni absolutely should have cashed in there. You can see his teammates looking at him like, dude, and he's laughing. He's like, holy cow, that was a hell of a save. And it was. It was a great play by Schwark to rob him.
And the Let Go Lightning chant breaks out. Nearly 2-2 for the visitors. Looked over at the Eagan bench on that play, and you couldn't quite see anybody shaking their head, but you got to be thinking, that's what they were doing. Look out. Turner goes upended. It might take a lot to get a call this period when you start thinking penalties.
It's going to have to be I think it'll have to be pretty obvious,
Yep.
right? I mean, they're going to let the boys play a little bit, but at the same time, I would hope that both teams would be smart. As I say that, now I see Williams and somebody else. Yep, it's going to take a lot to get a penalty in this one.
Williams and Heister. Wooten again. Wooten! Schwark didn't have a quick whistle. Not sure that. And we got some more extracurriculars. So we're only looking to get after a Wildcat.
Yeah, Wooten got dumped in the corner.
Williams escorted to the Wildcat bench by someone wearing stripes.
Okay, very interesting development. You said that it's going to take a lot to get a penalty. I agreed with you. We're looking like Nostradamus right now, because we've seen a couple of situations that early in this game absolutely could have been 2-minute minor penalties. Instead, we're playing 5v5. Now, that being said, I hope these guys don't start taking liberties with each other. I mean, we don't want to see anybody get hurt.
Exactly. Minute gone by here in this third period. Wildcats continue to hold that little one-goal lead. Here's Pavic in deep. He's shadowed by Klein for Eastview. Pavic right in front of the Eastview fans. Pavic, Shilkin backhanded that one and just to keep it in. And Cats are going to have to tag up. Thomas comes out. Lunenburg comes out. Lunenburg goes to the bench for a change. And Eastview comes out of the zone, not cleanly, but it does come out. Here's Hilly. 3 in blue. He's got the goal tonight for the Lightning. Way back in that first period, just 4:13 into this hockey game. Cass, bad turnover. O'Donnell shot, goal! Liam O'Donnell, number 13 on the year. Nathan, we got a 2-2 hockey game early in the third.
Oh, bad turnover, an absolutely horrible turnover in the Eagan end. Again, that is not fundamental hockey. All you got to do is make a solid pass to your teammate, make a solid clearance up high off the glass. Instead, you try to stick handle, you lose it, and O'Donnell makes the Wildcats pay. And we've got way too many way too many Lightning players trying to jump off the ice.
So Donald's going to get that one unassisted. 20th shot of the game for Eastview. Cats have 30.
Cats need a response quickly, Mike.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, the momentum could really shift down to the north end of this building.
Kreiser overskates the puck. Larson and Turvold. O'Donnell, he's got Shepechnikov with him. O'Donnell going in, backhand, tried to go high over Schwark. O'Donnell, he does keep that one right on the blue line. Official was right there. Schwark watches that one go wide. Hawkinson in deep. Backhand in front. Somebody might want to keep an eye on O'Donnell when he's in the zone if you're a Wildcat. Here comes Kreiser dumping that one in. 4-player change behind Brody. Up, out, 2-on-2 potential. Polonly, Taylor tried to use a screen to via Vobel, but Vobel gets in the way, and Vobel leads him the other way. Vobel, long outlet pass. Wildcats, no, just wide on the shot that time on the far side. That was Turner. Wooten got Taylor with him. Taylor tried to use a screen. Oh, that's going to hurt. That was Eilertson. Or no, take that back. That was Williams who took that one. Gimpley gets to the bench. Pavic knocked down by Wooten. Taylor and Eastview offsides.
I'm glad to see Williams able to get onto the bench, but that absolutely stung. He'll need a minute to recover from that one. But again, we were talking about it coming into this between periods and coming into this period. Lightning have a lot of momentum right now. Again, Cats not necessarily catching, but they've got to start delivering the blow. They've got to start taking the game to the Eastview Lightning, because right now the Lightning are being just a little more physical and a little more connected.
Yep. Yeah, we're 3 minutes into this period. They've got a goal, but you think about it, just 10 seconds in, Schwark had to make a big save. So Eastview has definitely come out flying in this period. Cats going to try to fly down the other way, so to speak. Lunenburg in deep. Pavic in front. Pavic's going to go for the help. Tried to get Thomas, I think, in front. Couldn't get the puck to him, however. Just going to send that one in deep. Now Thomas gets it in front. Lunenburg couldn't quite get there. Ethan Hansen got in the way. Or Easton Hansen. Icing Eastview. 13:22 to go in the third.
It's the second time Pavic has had the puck in the end, in the third period, Mike. Second time Pavic's had it, and he's been skating with it towards the blue line, away from goal, and it's like he's looking for a teammate to do something, and his teammates are not helping him out there, because somebody needs to go to the net, somebody needs to make a play to let him. He needs an outlet, and a couple of times now he's struggled and he's taken an offensive opportunity away from the Wildcats because the Cats aren't moving their feet.
There's Forrester to backhand. He's got Shepechnikov with him. Larson overskates it, and it's going to be Dwyer for Eastview. Dumps that in. Schwark with a save. Oh, dangerous cutting across there by the Wildcats. Might have been Shilkin, I think. And Dwyer up ahead. Tried to get it up to Hilly at the Eagan blue line. There's Larson for the Cats. Stop, spin. Remember, Garrett Larson had that goal in the third period in a 3-2 win at Eastview in the first meeting of the year. Right now it's 2-2 in the third. In the words of Yogi Berra, deja vu all over again. Odie Kreiser tries to get it in front. There's Kreiser, stays with the puck. Hot off the bench that time was Turner. Shilkin overskates it, but Eilertson back to cover up the puck for the Wildcats. Eilertson in front of his own bench. O'Donnell finishes the check on Eilertson. I think that was going to be an ice on the Wildcats, but Turner got in the way. Puck pops up. And we've got a whistle. Eastview offsides.
Yeah, offside. Not by much, but offside. You expect when it gets flopped up in the air that it's going to get into the zone a little bit faster. And that time the we've only outkicked his coverage. Butchering my metaphors there, but you all know what I mean at home.
Yeah. Nygaard pokes that one into the Eastview zone, where Scanlon will play it for Eastview. Quick shot. That was knocked down in front by a defenseman. It was Klein. Whoa, look out. Somebody actually, that was Turner, made an absolute run at Klein. Replay on. clink off the ceiling. Yeah, you could say Max Turner finished his check on that one. Kind of hit Klein up high. Eastview coach is looking for arms out, chirping to an official. I'm going to guess that's what it's about. And again, they might have a case.
They might have a case, but again, we're going to swallow. So far they've swallowed the whistles here.
Penalty now. It's going to be a trip, and it's going to be against the Wildcats.
What did I just say about swallowing the whistles?
Eagan didn't hear you. Williams to sit. Well, good to see Williams back on the ice, albeit briefly, as he now goes to the box. 11:38 to go in the third. Eastview power play opportunity. 5:22 the infraction on Williams. We're going to kick O'Donnell out of the draw. Pavoni comes in. And cleared quickly by the Wildcats. Shilkin. Come the Lightning. O'Donnell. Trying to do a little touch pass. Dwyer. Wooten. Wooten's got O'Donnell. Wooten's just going to dump that one and chase it. Pavoni far side. Kept in over there at the wall. Long shot. Quick glove save by Schwark.
Oh, Schwark has come to the aid of the Wildcats several times. I'm going to make a prediction. I think he's going to have to continue to do that for the Wildcats. Big penalty kill here for the Wildcats, but if Schwark can be your best penalty killer.
Yep. Face up. What do we got?
We have another Lightning player being thrown out. Lightning coach is wondering what's going on with that.
So O'Donnell in, Dwyer out. Cats control. And Wooten couldn't quite keep that one in as he stretched out. Down to 1:24 to go, man advantage, Eastview.
Cats are already on the penalty kill. They need to be careful.
Eilertson tied up with Taylor. Here's O'Donnell. Wooten. Taylor keeps it in. Finds a man over in that left circle. Quick shot. Schwark steers that one aside. Eastview does control, however. Wooten whistles that one just wide. Netting, face off. Eagan's zone. 1:01 to go. Man advantage, Eastview. 10:39 to go in the third. We're tied at 2. O'Donnell to draw, we think. At least he's going to start in the circle for Eastview.
Lightning 6-3 shots in this period so far over the Wildcats. They've definitely had not just the goal, but they've had the better end of the offensive play as well.
And Eastview wins the draw. Taylor sends it across. That's Dwyer. Shot Schwark. That puck is loose. Schwark doesn't know where it is. Now he does. Gets the mitt down. Actually, somebody lost a glove in there. Boy, Schwark head on a swivel looking for that puck. Great pressure Lightning. 51 to go. Man advantage. Dwyer and Turner on the draw. Ultimately going to be won by Eastview with control. Here's Wooten. Wooten. Oh, glove save. Schwark. Probably going to go wide, but a wise moving. Boy, Wooten used Andrew Vobel nicely for a screen there.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Schwark had that post covered. I think that puck might have slid behind the net in any event. Schwark showing that he is still dialed in.
Yeah, Sam Wooten, he's a senior, the captain. 17 goals coming in. He'll get it on the right side. Another shot. Whoa. Schwark had to duck down. The puck went out of play, I believe. Yep. A young Wildcat fan gets a free puck down there.
Had a number of pucks into the stands or into the netting or out of play, Mike, in this game. Probably as many as we've had all season.
Yep. O'Donnell and Turvold this time. Taylor keeps it in at the point. Here's Wooten once again. He's got a lot of traffic to shoot through. Schwark steered that one aside. Had a good look, I think, at that one despite the traffic. Just a tick over 10 minutes to go in the third. We're still tied at 2.
Cats, interestingly enough, using the net. I mean, it sounds silly, but with all these stoppages on this power play, it really is working against the Lightning. They're not able to get continuity. They're not able to get flow. And so many times you get goals after you've taken a shot and there's a rebound or loose puck, some sort of everyone's out of position. And instead, where we're at, it's the Lightning just can't get into their set. They can't get their flow.
Blake Pavic that time, nice job to clear that for the Cats. 12 to go. Eastview's got to hurry if they're going to score on the power play. And judging by the way they're bringing it up, it's not going to happen. Sam Wooten, far side. Here's Klein. Eagan now back at full strength as Schwark makes another save. It's his 24th of the hockey game. Nygaard hustling down for the Wildcats. Scanlon backhands it around.
Cats almost caught Nygaard coming out of the box. That might have been, or off the bench, I should say. That might have been quite the play.
Wooten, glove save. But you mentioned 10 shots on goal in the opening 7 minutes and change for Eastview this period.
Yeah, the Lightning really outshot in that second period big time, but now 32-27, it's closed to within a handful of shots, almost a literal handful of shots.
That was deflected off Larson. Hansen with the shot, or attempted shot, wraparound attempt. Titus in there, this is Nigro. We haven't called his name in quite a while, number 20 in blue.
Nigro had a good game last time these two teams matched up here. It was a 5-1 win, for the Wildcats, but Nigro had I believe he had a goal in that game, or an assist, maybe an assist, or did several notable things.
Yeah, it was Pavonley with the goal. Scanlon had 31 saves in that one. And Nigro 20 in blue, and he'll actually head to the bench now. Halfway through this third period, Eastview with a goal. It's a 2-2 hockey game. I'm going to safely assume nobody has left the Civic Arena yet.
Why would you?
And here comes O'Donnell. What a move, backhand. Schwark steers that aside. We said you might want to keep a guy on O'Donnell if you're the Eagan Wildcats. Did not there, and it nearly cost him. Just over 8 to go.
Yeah, a tendency when you have a player like O'Donnell who's fast and skilled in all of those things, big, strong, fast, skilled, whatever, pick your adjectives, to back up. You got to attack him. You have to get his breezers with him. That's what you have to do to slow him down. If you give him space, you can see what he can do.
Again, face off in the Wildcat zone. We've said that a lot this period. Nice job, O'Donnell, that time on a turnover. Shapechnikov battles with Thomas. Hilly in there. Lunenburg, Cats come away with it. Pavic loses it in the zone, but it's Thomas. Thomas half wall trying to get Pavic in front. He was tied up that time by Hogginson. Scanlon fights that one off. And just a couple of little shoves there, but in a 2-2 hockey game, the guys, they all know where they're at in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I'm going to give big credit there to O'Donnell. I looked to me from body language standpoint, he was telling Dwyer, hey, chill out, relax, don't do anything silly, just take a deep breath, big guy. We'll, come back for the next play. So big credit there.
Yeah, both O'Donnell and Dwyer wear the A, so does Shane Klein for Eastview. Just a good veteran move. Eilertson for the Wildcats, the sophomore. Loses the puck, tried to go between two offensive players. Taylor lost that puck. Here's Williams. Are they going to say it was tipped? Nope, it wasn't. So we've got a face-off come down in the Eastview zone. 7:15 to go in the third. And Nathan, let's mention our crew once again because, well, I'll tell you what, though, getting some nice pictures tonight coming out of the Civic Arena.
Yeah, our executive producer is Josh Sibley, director Jared Greenberg. Cameras are Brad Lester and Robbie Butler. Thanks so much for making us look and sound so good. You guys really are an Eagan community asset.
Absolutely. By the way, spring sports on ETV, I believe, start, what did we hear, April 2nd?
April 2nd, yep.
Some baseball, softball, lacrosse, boys volleyball, all on tap this spring. Eagan High School Sports on ETV. Here's Nygaard. Nygaard opportunity. And we've got a delayed penalty upcoming. It's going to be a hook against the Eastview Lightning with 6:51 to go. Nice effort, though, by Nygaard on that one to fight off the hook. Still got a shot off.
Hansen's going to go to the box. Honestly, I didn't see it. Maybe it was because it was right kind of below us here. And my eyes were tracking where Nygaard was going. But in any event, big opportunity here for the Wildcats.
They do have one power play goal tonight. Pavic shot. Thomas was in front trying to set up that screen for Eagan. Here's Forrester back up top. Turvold, Forrester, that was blocked. Forrester quickly regroups, and he very glad he had to, otherwise Sam Wooten was going in alone. And Turvold gathered the puck. Here come the Wildcats. Minute and a half to go in the power play. Turvold loses the puck. Wooten, defensive play, nice job for Eastview. Forrester's going to pinch in. Forrester center in front. Thomas couldn't quite control the puck. That was a quick shot. Pavic really shoot from there. He does, but it was blocked by O'Donnell. Forrester got Lunenburg near side, and Lunenburg couldn't quite control that one.
Cats can't get this puck clean. They cannot get a puck clean. And
offsides, Eastview fans looking for a call on Pavic as O'Donnell got upended.
Yeah, O'Donnell didn't get upended. O'Donnell was trying to do a crafty veteran move there and go down and maybe draw an equalizing penalty. You could see him kind of looking around like, oh, is somebody going to call a penalty? No, not this time, my friend. But that's a crafty move. Hey, you're a senior assistant captain. You're trying to get your team even no matter what you have to do.
Inside a minute to go in the Eagan power play, and they're going to start back in their own end once again.
Cats have not created shooting lanes, and they have not connected on passes. They need to still be smart fundamentally.
Eilertson nearly with another horrible Eagan turnover for the Cats. Eilertson just dumped back in.
Yeah, Cats, now they're going to be short to this one.
Chepetnikov in deep for Eastview. Cats, 26 to go, man advantage. Can they get into the zone cleanly? They do. Williams with a shot. Scanlon, good look, easy glove save. Much to the delight of the Eastview faithful.
Yeah, Scanlon gobbles that one up. No sweat, made that one look very easy. But for the first time, perhaps second time in this power play, Cats are at least going to have some chance in offensive zone time. I mean, they need to connect passes and they need to open up some shooting lanes. These Eastview Lightning defenders are clogging those shooting lanes with a lot of effectiveness.
Turner controls the draw. Williams, that went off the skate of Dwyer. And hit the netting, face off in the Eastview zone once again. 14 seconds to go in the Eagan power play. Turner on the draw. Again, he's got Nygaard with him. Williams and Eilertson back at the points. I believe that's Vobel on the far side. O'Donnell to draw. Oh, and they're going to toss Turner out of the circle. Interesting call. Thought it was going to go the other way. Cat's just going to dump that one back in. Nygaard, Vobel. Vobel shoved off the puck by Dwyer. All the way down. Will not be an Eastview now at full strength. 4:44 to go in the third. 2-2 our score. There's Ballman with an opportunity. Ballman shot just a hair wide. Back in front. Oh! Williams couldn't quite connect. Shilkin to regroup. Wooten all over him. Shilkin. Good pressure by Eastview, but the Cats able to get out of their own zone. Ballman briefly. Here's Wooten. Wooten with wheels. Wooten shot at it. Schwark hits him right in the G in Eagan. And the Eagan goalie with the save, number 28 of the evening for Schwark.
Well, that's a situation where Shilkin he needed some help, Mike. He was skating with it, and he needs a teammate to present an opportunity so he can hit a pass. Instead, he's trying to skate it out. He doesn't have a good opportunity, and the Lightning are able to take it and go the other direction with it. Got to open yourself up and show some love to your teammates.
Hansen for Eastview. Boy, how many draws has Eastview won this period?
Most of them.
Yep. Nigro sends it in deep. Inside 4 to go. That went off of Shilkin's head, I think. Here comes Brody Kreiser. Again, Nigro, a nice job by Nigro. You know, and I like that he's getting, Aaron Fulton's kind of putting him out there every once in a while. Just give your guys a little bit of extra rest. Because you know the closer, we can't go much further without you basically double shifting your top guys.
Yeah, both teams are going to shorten that bench pretty quickly here in the next. They're going to shorten the bench now.
Yeah,
effectively, right?
There's Lunenburg, Shepechnikov, they're offsides. He made a move with the blue line. O'Donnell was a couple of strides over. If he doesn't make that move, it's a 2-on-1 potential.
Yeah, Shepechnikov is thinking to himself, man, I know better than that. He's thinking, I got a guy in front of me, I can make a move and create space, create time, and all of a sudden, oh, wait a minute, that was the blue line?
Yep.
Yeah. Unlucky young man. But, again, that's something that, you look at and you go, that's what, when you're squirt, peewee, even bantams, sometimes that happens.
Lunenburg to draw for the Wildcats. And he wins it against Hilly. Try to get an outlet pass to Pavic. Lunenburg's going to give chase. He's going to meet Hawkinson back behind the net. He comes out the other way. Dwyer. I thought he might have got in a hair before the puck, but officials disagree.
Be interesting.
Cats get it out.
Pardon me. It'll be interesting to see if the Cats change up their pass, change up their scheme a little bit here as the time winds down in a tie hockey game, a section quarterfinal.
Volbel for the Cats. Yep, and Eagan couldn't quite get out in time. Well, I'm going to use one of your lines from a football game a couple of years ago, but who's going to get extra sprinkles on their DQ tonight?
It remains to be seen. I'm glad you used it because I'm not allowed to. I think I'm officially banned by the. I think there's a city ordinance in Eagan. I'm not allowed to use that phrase anymore. I have to talk to the city leadership about that. But in any event, we play on. But right now, Cats need to clean up their game a little bit. I'll be interested to see if they can start keeping that extra forward high, making sure that they're not giving any odd rushes.
Wow, Turner.
Did he jump 10 feet in the air there? That was incredible.
I think Coach McKenzie, the basketball team, wants him. Taylor. Oh, he couldn't control the puck as he goes into the end boards. Whoa, and a hit by Turner. And a clean one at that.
Yep, absolutely clean.
Eastview keeps it in. Wooten, he's tied up. Nygaard, inside 2 to go. Nygaard, Williams back across. Couldn't quite get there. I think that was Eilertson coming down.
Eastview screaming for an offsides there. I think they might have had a case.
I do too. Pavonley couldn't get it. Katz, Ballman, Nygaard with him. Ballman, no, Klein, nice defensive play. 90 seconds to go in the third.
I think you can use the R word now, Mike.
Thank you. I was waiting for the okay to use that word.
Yep.
Hansen sends it in deep. Here's Turvold for the Eagan Wildcats right in front of the student section. It's a USA out for the Eagan Wildcats. Shepechnikov battling among others. Little scrum. 1 minute to go in regulation. Backhand across. Larson couldn't quite get there. O'Donnell was able to get it out, but Shilkin gets it. Larson and Hilly battle right at the Eastview bench. Tried to get a long outlet pass. It's O'Donnell. He's got Shepechnikov down the slot. He's trying to get Hilly coming down far side. Here come the Cats. 3-on-1 potential. Larson. Garrett Larson. No. High over the cage. Eastview turn and go the other way. Full head of steam is Dwyer. On sides. He's got O'Donnell with him. O'Donnell shot just a hair wide. 17.1.
In regulation,
Yes.
the R word.
We can
in
use that R
regulation.
word.
Yeah, for anybody watching for the first time, the bit between Mike and I is every time we say the time in regulation when the Cats have a goal lead or it's tied or whatever, all of a sudden magically the hockey gods decide to smite the Cats. And so we call it the R word. It's not that R word. We would never use language like that on television, but
period.
But regulation, yes.
Timeout taken by, I believe, Eastview, as you can hear the Lightning fans with the Let's Go Lightning chant.
Shots 38-30 in favor of the Wildcats. This
13-9 this period.
Yeah,
Eastview.
it started really lopsided, Mike, and the Cats have kind of come back into it a little bit here.
Well, if you're the Rosemont Irish, who we assume when they were up 5-0 in the third, you're going, okay, guys, just multiple overtimes works for us.
Yeah, exactly. How much you want to bet we got a few Irish fans watching?
You think?
I bet we do. We do, and I bet how much you want to bet the Irish coaching staff might not be taking a look at this videotape. Do we still have videotape? I guess we don't have videotape anymore.
By the way, officially 5-0 Rosemont beats Apple Valley Burnsville.
Yep.
As I go to the Rosemont hockey site. Here, 2-2, 17.1 to go.
Well, every game is a story, and these stories are even more compelling given that they are win-or-go-home situations. And it remains to be seen how will the last chapter of Eagan Eastview for the 25-26 season be written.
Boy, both student sections, they're making a lot of noise.
It's going to be, I tell you, Mike, right now, no matter who wins this game, and we will have a winner, no matter who wins this game, it is going to be absolute bedlam in here when that happens.
Face off to the right of Austin Schwark. O'Donnell, the draw for Eastview. He had the tying goal early in this third period off a bad Wildcat turnover. Eastview fans looking for a call. Here's Nygaard for the Cats. Nygaard tries to get around Dwyer. Turner. Wooten. Williams gets in the way. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have free hockey in a Section 3 AA quarterfinal between the Eastview Lightning and the Eagan Wildcats. I believe they put 3 minutes on the clock, and then we'll have 8 minutes of sudden death or sudden victory, depending on your mindset there. Wow.
So conversation going on with the Eastview captain. Let's see, I think it's Dwyer. Is it Dwyer over there? And the referee, there was a shout from the Eastview fan section asking for a penalty there when one of the Wildcats handled the puck with his glove. My understanding, and I'll have to check with our rules expert, at some point during the conclusion of this game, but at some point, my understanding is that hand passes are illegal in the defensive zone. If I'm not mistaken, they're illegal in the defensive zone, and as long as you don't pick the puck up, you can slap at the puck. You just can't. I think you can't pick it up, if that makes any sense.
So if you're Aaron Fulton there on the Eastview bench, what do you simply say? Guys, keep the pressure up. Great third period. Keep it going.
Yeah, I suspect very strongly that unless we have an egregious penalty, I imagine the referees are going to absolutely swallow the whistles, which, frankly, I have to tell you, kind of inures to the benefit of the Wildcats to me. It feels like it's an advantage to the Wildcats. Turner and Nygaard and Lunenburg and Thomas and all these guys are big and they like to throw their bodies around and they can create offense because they're big and physical. I'm not suggesting the Lightning are shrinking violets by any means, but the Wildcats have got some big bodies that sometimes can fly a little out of control and occasionally crash into people even with a little extra force. So I think a more physical, open, up and down kind of game probably inures to their benefit.
Eagan students trying to chant something. I don't know what it is. I think they've got some of the teachers right in front of them, maybe trying to urge them on. Well, as we said, the winner of this one gets the Rosemont Irish, 5 o'clock Friday, Bloomington Ice Garden. section final, 24th, up at St. Thomas Academy at the
Well, we'll see what happens here. I will say this, if you're the Wildcats, a couple of times in this period, Mike, you and I have seen the Wildcats, let's just say, not complete passes, not do smart things with the puck. In fact, the goal was, as a result of a turnover, of some poor decision making. You cannot afford to make bad decisions in an overtime period. The Eastview Lightning will they will steal your lunch money if you give them a chance, right? So you cannot let them do that if you're a Wildcat player. And same thing with the Eastview. They, a couple of times they've occasionally turned the puck over or had a miscue as well. There cannot be any miscues. I like this. I have to say, I like the fact that they're switching ends. Because it suggests it's going to be a little bit harder to get on and off the ice, and maybe we'll have a good chance at getting a goal here in this first overtime period.
Student section's been on their feet the entire game. Some of the fans getting up, standing ovation for both teams. And we are underway. Whoa, Schwark! Oh my gosh. That would have been a heck of a way to lose it.
Yeah, it looked like a stick just slipped out of his hand.
Yeah. And faceoff will come back to the Eagan zone.
Yeah, stick just slipped out of his hand, It looks like. That was a strange, I've seen some strange goals here at Eagan Civic Arena, but that might have been one of the weirdest ones ever.
Wooten to draw. He's got Taylor with him. Pavonley is out as well on the kind of the top of the right circle. Dwyer and Hogginson back at the blue line. There's Wooten. And Williams for Eagan. Nygaard is with him. Ben Williams. Remember, Williams got that overtime winner against Prior Lake. An exciting game here in the Eagan Civic Arena. That was back on January 17th. Today's February 17th. Maybe. Turner, draw. Pavonley, Turner, quick shot. Never got through. Boy, Williams is sitting near the top of that slot just waiting for the puck. Couldn't get it to him. Wooten the other way for Eastview. Wooten for the win. He got it! Eastview advances!
Wooten had players all around him. The defense was back. Schwark's taking this hard. He thinks he should have had that one. But sometimes you just have to give it up to the shooter. Sometimes the shooter he guesses right. He puts it in the right place with the right amount of velocity, and he cashes in.
And you know what? It was a clean goal. Just a snipe by Wooten. Goal number 18 for the Eastview senior, who's got at least one more game in his high school career.
Devastating for the Wildcats,
Absolutely.
Elation for the Lightning. It had to be a great goal. You wanted to see a great goal. You didn't want to see a goal that decides this game with controversy or frustration in that regard. And you have to admit and understand. You have to give it up to Wooten. That was an excellent individual effort. There were two defensemen kind of in front of him. He gets to the side of one, is able to get the shot on goal, and it goes in the top of the net.
Well, if you had to guess who was going to get the winner for Eastview, it was either going to be Wooten or Dwyer, most likely. And sure enough, Sam Wooten sends the Lightning to the Section 3 AA semifinals.
Well, it's always hard for the seniors, and we say this after every playoff game, Mike. But for the parents, for these seniors, as much as it hurts to watch your senior out there, you think of all the early morning practices as these boys have played hockey for so long, and some of them aren't done playing hockey. I understand that, but for most of them, for most seniors, this is it. This is the last time they'll play hockey on a team like this for a school or for someplace that they're going to class. And you remember the early morning practices, the lost water bottles, the broken sticks, the bus trips to Fargo. All of those things are part of a rich hockey legacy for these seniors, and they have a lot to be proud of and for themselves. as devastating and as challenging as it is at the end of this season, there's a lot to be thankful for and a lot to be happy about, just not right now.
When I talked to Coach Kreiser earlier today, he had said something, if by chance we don't win this game tonight, he's going to look at this group of guys and he's going to know they gave it their all. There was no doubt these guys were not going to put everything out on the table, and it stings as all can be right now, but eventually these guys are going to look at it. This was a successful season for Eagan Wildcat hockey. First-year head coach Austin Kreiser, Cats just a hair under 500 to finish the season, but man, this one stings for them.
It stings for them. It's elation, like I said, for the Eastview Lightning. The Lightning have punched the Cats' tickets a handful of times over the last 6 years in the section quarterfinals. Often down at Hayes Arena, or I should say at Apple Valley Arena. And challenging, no question, for both sides. The credit to the Eastview Lightning, they started on the wrong end of the scoreboard, but they came back and they made their punches tell in the second and third period. I don't think the players on either side lacked for effort.
Nope, none whatsoever.
And the Eastview Lightning, I tell you right now, if they play a game like this against the Rosemount Irish are going to have their hands full. I'm not saying Rosemount's going to lose that game. It's a 1-5 matchup. It is what it is. But I will tell you that the Rosemount Irish are going to watch this game and go, okay, we got our work cut out for us. We got to make sure we take care of business and don't look past these Eastview Lightning.
So Sam Wooten, the overtime winner, the opening minute of the extra frame. Charlie Scanlon, 36 saves for the Eastview Lightning. And you look at the Wildcats on the right side of your screen, just heartbroken group. You got to feel for all those young men. But on the Eastview side, they're absolutely walking into a mob of fans as they head back to the locker room. So, Nathan, it's been a pleasure this season. Do it again. We got to make sure we also thank guys like Dan Wu, Todd Schneider, and your son was here. Nicholas was with us. Yeah, nice round of applause by the Eagan faithful. But again, our all-star ETV crew, and again, it's been a pleasure bringing you Wildcat hockey this season. Unfortunately, it ends here in the section quarterfinals against the Eastview Lightning. Your final score, once again, it's Eastview 3, Eagan Wildcats 2. Well, thanks for being with us, everybody. We'll see you in about around Thanksgiving later this year. We'll get rolling again. Again, on behalf of everybody, Mike Cook, Nathan Cron, have a good evening from the Eagan Civic Arena.